Our story begins with lightning striking a mountain, and a loud voice can be heard saying, "All of us are here to deal with you. You cannot escape, Li Teixuan. Surrender the Book of Heaven to us, you self-proclaimed ruler." Three people can be seen besieging a person named Li Teixuan. Li Teixuan angrily responds while being besieged, "You want to surpass me? Emperor Qin, Wu Shizhen, Jin Wu Demon, the three of you only have a supreme reputation, what a pity. Since you worthless rats want the heavenly book so much, then die with me." He then self-destructs himself. The scene changes, and a boy with silver-colored hair can be seen sitting in a seat, suddenly opening his eyes. Observing his surroundings, he questions himself in self-doubt, "This place seems to be Earth, and I'm not fighting against Emperor Qin, that bastard Wu, and that demon. I exploded myself and..." laughs. "Seems like my theory is right. The Book of Heaven brought me back in time. I've been reborn, and I'm here again." His name is Li Teixuan, and in his previous life, he was in charge of a palace and was called Teixuan Dianzun. His forces, the Teixuan Palace, ruled the parallel world, with him as a peerless genius. He had dominion over 3,000 worlds and built an immortal supreme body in just 10,000 years. While he was lost in thought, the train stops at Chuzhou Station. After stepping out of the train, he reflects, what a distant memory. This overlord still remembers. He recalls that his real purpose for coming to Chuzhou was to visit a woman and propose marriage. However, she had other plans and invited a rich second-generation boy named Yang Xiaokun. Li Teixuan feels embarrassed about his past, realizing how he was mistreated and humiliated. He vows to make them pay for their actions, saying, "That bastard poured acid on my face. Later, I was falsely accused of rape and sentenced to jail for more than 10 years. That scoundrel sent me to jail, and when I got out, my father was sick and passed away. He sold our property to help me and gave the money to Yang Xiaokun. When I returned home from prison, all I found was my father's lifeless body. For the next few years, I lived as if I were passing through light, like a purposeless dog barely surviving. In the end, I chose the easy way out and tried to commit suicide. But it was a blessing in disguise, a fateful encounter that allowed my soul to stray into the Shuxian realm and become a descendant of Teixuan. In my previous life, I was foolish, incompetent, naive, and incredibly stupid. But that's all in the past now." As he contemplates, a car suddenly loses control and crashes into the taxi. The driver tries to stabilize the car and asks, "Young man, are you okay?" Upon turning back, he finds that Li Teixuan has vanished. The car that hit the taxi continues to lose control and hits other cars before crashing into a road grill. Li Teixuan grabs the car and pulls it towards him. Witnessing the accident, people from other cars exclaim in disbelief, "Oh God, there's been a road accident. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. How can such a young man do such an incredible thing?" After pulling the car, Li Teixuan reflects, "I'm still so weak." An old man and a young girl come out of the car. The girl exclaims, "Grandpa, be careful." Seeing Li Teixuan leaving, the old man says, "Please don't leave. Chu Tiancheng, thank you for your help, young man." Li Teixuan replies, "It doesn't matter, it's an insignificant matter." He then turns to leave, but the old man stops him and says, "Kindness without asking for favor, I thank you. If in the future, you need anything in Chuzhou, please ask me." Li Teixuan flatly replies, "No need." The girl, beside the old man, stops Li Teixuan again and says, "Our Chu family is not accustomed to owing favors and kindness to someone. Please let us show our gratitude. Is there anything you need?" Li Teixuan, observing their attitude, says, "Since you have such a great tone, I shall stand on ceremony and ask. I need 1,000-year-old ginseng to reshape this pitiful mortal body. Can you get it?" The old man replies, "You have a funny way with words. This girl, Chu's Walian, is my granddaughter. I might have spoiled her too much since she was young. You don't look like you're from Chuzhou. How should I address you?" Li Teixuan replies, "Old man, enough with pleasantries. This one just wants to know if you can get me what I want." Suddenly, a person comes flying in and lands on top of Li Teixuan. He exclaims, "You stupid kid. I managed to tamper with Chu Tianzheng's car. How dare you destroy my plan? Now you will die." The person attempts to punch Li Teixuan from behind, but he easily evades the attack, retaliates with a punch to the face, and sends the assailant flying. Witnessing how effortlessly Li Teixuan defeated the attacker, Chu Tianzheng thinks to himself, "Who is this guy? He easily defeated that person. Is he some young master from a secret family?" Grandmasters at such a young age are rare, and they are usually very old. I have never heard of such a young grandmaster before. This is unheard of. Does this explain his weird accent? Such terrible talent. The girl, observing how Li Takeshuan defeated the attacker, wonders, what was that move? He just killed him. Who the hell is this guy? Seeing Li Takeshuan getting angry at the assassin, Chu Tianzheng bows and says, "Forgive me. This young one seems to be a legendary practitioner. Forgive this old man, and I hope my granddaughter hasn't offended you either." As he bows, a pendant falls out of his neck. Li Takeshuan senses a familiar aura from the pendant, as if it comes from the immortal world. He realizes it could help him upgrade his strength and says, "If you want to repay me, then give me this jade pendant you're wearing." Chu Tianzheng hands over the jade pendant and says, "This old jade, since you like it so much, sure." After receiving the pendant, Li Takeshuan remarks, "Mortals can't use this jade pendant, but this artifact is of great use to me. We are even now. I shall take my leave." And with that, he departs. Witnessing him leave so abruptly, Chu Xiao becomes angry and says to her grandpa, "Grandpa, why did you give him the pendant? He's just a warrior. What's so great about him?" Chu Tianzheng responds, "Have you heard of the Southeast Military Area? There's a man named Long Yancheng, codenamed Voldemort. As the #1 master of the Southeast Military Region, Long Yancheng was ordered to guard the northwest frontiers for many years, killing various terrorist organizations attempting to sneak into Chinese territory countless times. His name was widely known." Chu Xiao interrupts, "Why are you telling me this story? What does it have to do with this guy?" Chu Tianzheng explains, "Because the young man we just met is at least as good or on a similar level as Voldemort." In the next scene, at a 5-star hotel in Chuzhou, Li Takeshuan enters the banquet hall. A girl calls out to him, "Li Xiaofan." This girl is named Chu Qiangshang and continues, "This party is important to me, and you came here late. So useless. How could you let your own girlfriend wait for a whole day?" Li Takeshuan, with a serious expression, responds, "So, it's you, the harlot. Why should I care if I had a little accident on the road? It's none of your business." Confused by his strange behavior, Chu Qiangshang thinks to herself, "Why is this guy speaking so strangely? He seems different today." Suddenly, another girl enters and comments, "Qiangshang, this boyfriend of yours talks funny. Does he come from the countryside? He's so weird. I understand why you're embarrassed to bring him out in the open. If I were you, I would have chosen Yang Shokun." Chu Qiangshang interrupts, "Enough." Seeing the girl, Li Takeshuan thought to himself, "Another wench appeared. This harlot's name is Xu Xiaoying, and she looked down on me in my previous life." Chu Qiangshang says, "You are really infuriating. When it comes to such a high-class event, why can't you dress in something better? Unbelievable." And leaves with her friend. After they leave, Chu Qiangshang walks towards a young man who asks her, "Oh, you're here. Did you come together with Li Xiaofan?" Chu Qiangshang replies with a smile, "Oh, Xiaokun, he couldn't make it on time. Don't bother with that guy." Li Takeshuan lights a cigarette and sits in a chair in the corner. Seeing this, Yang Xiaokun says, "Yes, that guy is so antisocial. It seems like nobody here is friends with him either," and laughs. Chu Qiangshang replies, "Let's not talk about him. He's boring," while thinking, "Li Xiaofan, don't blame me for this. Blame yourself. You're just not good enough." As she looks in Li Takeshuan's direction, Yang Xiaokun suddenly embraces Chu Qiangshang and says, "Why are you hesitating? Accompany me and ditch that poor boy. You know how I feel about you." Chu Qiangshang blushes and says, "Yes. Okay." People in the hall start mocking Li Takeshuan for being a poor miser. Yang Xiaokun walks towards Li Takeshuan with Chu Qiangshang in his arms and says, "Hi, nice to meet you," stretching out his hand for a handshake. Li Takeshuan replies, "This venerable one does not shake hands. You are beneath me, unworthy." Hearing this, Yang Xiaokun feels angry and says, "You dare insult me to my face?" At the side, Chu Qiangshang says, "Li Xiaofan, aren't you apologizing to him? Xiaokun is the deputy head of the teaching department in our school. In the future, you'll be under his guidance. Don't be stupid." Several people start surrounding Li Takeshuan, saying on behalf of Yang Xiaokun, "How can you say something like this? Apologize to young Master Xiao now. If you don't apologize, you will never leave this banquet." Yang Xiaokun says to Li Takeshuan, "Nobody here likes you. I don't need your money, so hurry up and leave this place." Hearing this, Li Takeshuan thinks to himself, "Is this ant talking to me? Let me teach this one what it means to offend me." While he was thinking, a person enters and introduces himself as the director of the teaching division. He says that Li Takeshuan must apologize and give his seat to Yang Xiaokun, as he is not worthy of it. Li Takeshuan retorts, if this one isn't worthy, then nobody is. Hearing this, Yang Xiaokun smiles and opens his arms wide, saying, who are you kidding? I have shares in this hotel. You tell me, why am I not worthy of this seat? Li Takeshuan makes some hand signs and stands up from his chair, saying, I grew weary of this game. Sit if you must. This one will watch you embarrass yourself. Yang Xiaokun sits down on the chair, calling Li Takeshuan a loser. As he sits down, he realizes that something is wrong and stands up hurriedly. His rear end is on fire, and he screams, my ass. Seeing this, Chu Qiangshang tries to put out the fire while exclaiming, Xiaokun, what did you do? Unfortunately, the fire spreads to her clothes, and she yells, it's spreading towards me. Please help. Horrified, a person enters with a bucket of water and splashes it on them, drenching them in water and making them look horrible. At the same time, the lamps above Yang Xiaokun start shaking and burst, injuring him in the process. Witnessing this, the people around him carry him on their shoulders and rush him to the hospital for inspection. Seeing all of this, Li Takeshuan says, vulnerable little ants, resistance is futile, while smoking. After coming out of the hotel, they put Yang Xiaokun in a car, but suddenly the car bursts into flames. They hurriedly get out of the car in shock. Observing the scene, Li Takeshuan smirks and says, such an entertaining performance. You keep playing ants, you have my attention. Suddenly, Chu Qiangshang approaches from behind and says, Xiaofan, you should go back on your own. It's getting late, and tomorrow is the proposal. Li Takeshuan replies, so the harlot still wants to continue with the marriage? Interesting. I wonder what kind of performance you will play tomorrow, and departs. Seeing him leave like that, Chu Qiangshang feels guilty for making him come so far and treating him poorly. She thinks, forget about him. I need to aim higher. After leaving the hotel, Li Takeshuan walks down the road while smoking when he receives a call. The caller asks, Mr. Li, since you just arrived in Chuzhou, I assume you haven't found a place to stay yet? My grandpa asked me to show you around, and the accommodation is being prepared as we speak. If you still need a place. Hearing this, Li Takeshuan replies, Honorable Lady Lotus, I shall accept your proposal. I am currently at an intersection at the Chouwan seat. You may pick me up. He ends the call. A lady holding an umbrella approaches him and asks, would you like to buy some flowers? Thinking to herself, it's been a while since I saw such a delicious young man, Li Takeshuan responds to her, little brother, do you have a place to stay? Why don't you come with me back home? Seeing her with a basket of flowers, Li Takeshuan replies, to your place? Run along, little witch. You cannot afford this one. Go play with some mortals. I have matters to attend to, while narrowing his eyes. The lady feels startled, and Li Takeshuan continues, oh, does this little witch want to play? Such a pitiful amount of magic. You dare to covet my body? Presumptuous. Do you want to die? Hearing this, the lady takes a step back and asks, you can see through my real identity? Seems like I can't let you go easily today. She reveals her aura and says, stay still and let me suck your energy. Suddenly, she loses control of her own body and kneels down, exclaiming, what's going on? This intense pressure and energy? Does it come from him? My body feels like it's exploding. She realizes, my cultivation was destroyed in an instant. Tremblingly, she asks, who are you? Li Takeshuan answers, when a god walks among the mortal plane, who dares to cause strife? An insignificant cub dares to challenge a god? Such ignorance. Little witch, I am feeling generous today. How will you make amends to this monarch? Speak. I have matters to attend to. Afraid, the little witch begs for mercy, saying, please don't punish me. Suddenly, a taxi driver intervenes, saying, how could you do this to an innocent lady? You're lucky I'm in such a good mood. He turns to the witch and says, hey lady, get in the car, hurry. Ignore this guy, he'll never have a girlfriend. He'll remain single for the rest of his life. The little witch hurriedly gets in the taxi and leaves. Seeing them depart, Li Takeshuan thinks, just let the little witch live for the time being. When he refines a longevity pill, he will suck all of her demonic energy dry. Inside the taxi, the witch thinks to herself, that was close. The driver asks her if she is a florist since he saw the flower basket. She replies, yes, I have planted many types of flowers in my home. Do you want to buy some? We can stop by my place. It's right over Manhua Valley. The driver feels that the name sounds familiar. On the other side, A white Lamborghini stops in front of Li Takeshuan, and Chu Xiao steps out of the car. She says, "Mr. Li, we meet again. Do you want to go for a ride?" Li Takeshuan replies, "Ah, it's you, Miss Lotus. What a lovely car you have. I express my gratitude to your grandfather for accommodating my lodging." He sits inside the car. As they drive on the road, Chu Xiao asks about the people arguing with him earlier, wondering if she should teach them a lesson. Li Takeshuan responds, "Don't bother yourself with little things. Some people just invite trouble for themselves." Chu Xiao asks, "Invite trouble? What do you mean by that?" Suddenly, a loud scream is heard, and the taxi from earlier loses control and hits the side of the road. Inside the taxi, the witch can be seen laughing while blood floods out of her mouth. Witnessing this, Chu Xiao feels shocked and asks, "That girl from earlier, what is she?" Li Takeshuan replies, "That? She is just feeding off her meal. Nothing worth mentioning. There are many other extraordinary things." Hearing this, Chu Xiao thinks to herself, how did he detect such a mystical thing? Who is this Li Xiaofan? After half an hour at the Imperial Club, Li Takeshuan gets out of the car, and Chu Xiao says that she enjoyed their talk as it was educational. She offers to park the car while he enters and rests, promising to join him shortly. Inside the Imperial Club, the lobby manager stops him from entering and rudely asks if he has a membership card. Li Takeshuan replies, "No, but I came with a good and honest girl." The lobby manager retorts, "Stop. We only entertain people with a membership card. Please leave. A lady friend with a poor sod like you? Unlikely, pal." Another person approaches and asks what's happening. The manager explains, "Manager Zhao, this person claims he was invited here. Can you believe this?" Manager Zhao responds, "So it's another poor guy. Are you here to beg for food?" Li Takeshuan asserts, "Watch your tone. Do you know who I am?" Manager Zhao replies, "I know who you are. You're that poor little boy from the party earlier. I'm Xu Xiaoying's boyfriend." Li Takeshuan retorts, "Oh, you're that wench's boyfriend. You're just a little lobby manager. You're not worthy to speak to me." Manager Zhao taunts, "You have such a big ego. Do you know where this is? This is the prestigious Imperial Club. Only the top elites of Chuzhou come here. It's no place for someone like you to attend." Chu Quangshang enters with her friend Xu Xiaoying and asks, "Li Xiaofan, what are you doing here? Stop embarrassing me. Why are you even here? You don't belong here." Li Takeshuan sighs and responds, "Why is the harlot here? And the wench too? I'm just waiting for an acquaintance to return." Hearing this, Chu Quangshang asks, "What? Li Xiaofan, why didn't I see this before? You're too deep in vanity. Stop pretending to be important here. Are you trying to get my attention? Because all I feel is shame. You've embarrassed me so much, can't you just leave me alone?" Li Takeshuan replies, "What? This one is chasing after you? Absurd. You're being wildly unreasonable. And what about you being with that dreadful Yang Shokun? Nonsense, you insignificant harlot. Play your games somewhere else." Chu Quangshang, feeling uncomfortable, retorts, "You. What I do with him has nothing to do with you. Stop talking nonsense." Li Takeshuan folds his arms and asks, "Why are you still here? This one is done with you, leave me alone." Hearing this, Chu Quangshang points her finger at Li Takeshuan and warns, "Hey, don't you dare talk to me like that. You said you came to live here? Are you even eligible to live in this place? What a joke." Suddenly, Chu Xiao enters and says, "He is certainly qualified to be here. Mr. Li, are you okay? Sorry I'm late, the damn car park was full." Seeing Chu Xiao, the two managers feel astonished and ask, "Miss Chu, what are you doing here?" Chu Xiao confidently replies, "Why can't I come here?" She holds Li Takeshuan's arm and looks at Chu Quangshang, saying to the managers, "Mr. Li here is a noble guest whom I personally invited. The Chu family is responsible for this. We took extra care to ensure his arrival, and you idiots were rude to him. Kneel to me right now and slap yourself in the face. These are my orders." Hearing this, the two managers kneel down and beg for mercy while slapping themselves. They say, "We won't do it again, we regret our actions. It won't happen again. We are sorry." Witnessing their humiliation, Chu Quangshang asks Xu Xiaoying, "Who is this woman? Why is your boyfriend afraid of her?" Xu Xiaoying replies, "She is Miss Chu. Her family practically owns Chuzhou. Some guy tried to bump into her in the VIP area, and the next thing we knew, he came out with several broken bones and couldn't even walk properly. Nobody can find any fault with her." Chu Quangshang, feeling afraid, thinks to herself, "Li Xiaofan, I never expected that you would be so shameless as to become someone's pawn. How low have you fallen? As they leave, Chu Xiao says to Li Teixuan, "Let's go." She departs while looking back at Chu Qiangshang with contempt, thinking, really, this woman is really blind. She has no vision at all. Truly a harlot. Mr. Li is a dragon among men. Chu Qiangshang watches them leave and feels Chu Xiao's contempt, thinking, no, I'm just imagining. Miss Chu can't possibly. Inside the room, Chu Xiao clasps her hands together and says, I would like you to be my teacher, Mr. Li. You have considerable knowledge, and I would like to be your apprentice. The money has been transferred to your account. Please accept my sincere gratitude. Li Teixuan sits on the bed cross-legged and says, a noble endeavor, but your qualifications as a practitioner are too inept to be my apprentice. Hearing this, Chu Xiao replies, Mr. Li, it has been my dream to be among the strongest. If you would take me as a disciple, I will listen to your every word. She blushes and starts stripping, thinking to herself, practicing martial arts has always been my dream. It has always been something I yearn for. I must not miss this opportunity, even if I have to make some sacrifices. Will he accept me? While Chu Xiao is lost in her thoughts, Li Teixuan has already closed his eyes and is meditating, thinking, should I accept her? While her beauty is the best in this world, compared to the beauties in the immortal world, she still has a long way to go. Perhaps when she becomes an immortal, or not. But her heart is in the right place. The money she gave will allow me to cultivate a new body. He opens his eyes and seeing her undressing, he says, Honorable Miss Chu, what are you doing? Put your clothes back on. We are having a civilized conversation now. We have much to do later. I will accept you as a trial, a named disciple if you will, so as not to feel embarrassed in public. Hearing this, Chu Xiao feels happy and says, yes, thank you, master. Li Teixuan instructs her to call him teacher from now on and tells her that there are some things she needs to know. He reveals that they are the descendants of Tai Xuan, though she is only in name. They can be regarded as disciples of this lineage. They are not a sect or a cult but a civilization of a great world. Hearing this, Chu Xiao says, yes, teacher, and asks, but where does it originate from? While tidying her clothes, Li Teixuan stands up and walks towards the window, looking towards the sky. He says, from a distant realm, far, far away. No mortal may enter its realm. One day, perhaps, you shall. One day, when your strength is strong enough, I will take you to see our glorious empire. Not even the heavens can compare to the Shengxuan upper realm. It's a sight worth seeing. Chu Xiao asks, teacher, every time you talk about this, you seem sad. Li Teixuan replies, because when I left, there were people I care about still there. He remembers something from the past, sitting on a boulder cross-legged on the cliff of a mountain, speaking to a young girl who had just finished practicing with a sword. He says to her, Zuexi, your cultivation is powerful enough. Why are you desperately trying to get stronger? The girl replies, I need to become stronger than big brother Teixuan. I need to, so one day, I can finally stand side by side with him at the peak of the world together. Lost in thoughts of the past, Li Teixuan thinks to himself, Zuexi, I wonder what you're doing right now. Have you been doing well? Will you try to find me and search the galaxy? Do not worry, I am still alive. He sits back on the bed cross-legged. Chu Xiao, seeing him sitting and closing his eyes, says, teacher, I will take my leave. Li Teixuan says, you may go. After Chu Xiao leaves, Li Teixuan takes out the jade pendant and crushes it. And this is how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well, guys, if you liked this video and want a part 2, comment below with the word part 2.